Star Trek reveals why Spock really left the Enterprise to study Kholinar. After the Enterprise's 5-year mission, Star Trek's Mr. Spock left Starfleet to study Kholinar, and now his reason for doing so has been revealed. In 2021 Star Trek, Year 5-21, Spock, stranded in Vulcan's distant past, finds himself face-to-face with Surik, the founder of modern Vulcan society. Spock's encounter with Surik greatly affects him, stirring both his human and Vulcan side, setting him on a path that does not involve Starfleet and the Enterprise. Star Trek, Year 5-21, written by Brandon Easton and illustrated by Sylvia Califano, finally explains why Spock left Starfleet. In the previous issue, Spock was thrown back through time to prehistoric Vulcan, to a time before logic. Spock arrives in the midst of a civil war between those who follow Surik, the founder of the philosophy of logic, and the remaining holdouts. In a clear case of do not meet your heroes, Spock grows disillusioned with the historical Surik. Surik points out that Spock has yet to reconcile his two halves, Vulcan and human. These words are burnt deep into Spock's brain, or as he puts it, a bruise on my consciousness. He decides there is only one way to solve this: never let his emotions sway him again. Therefore, he resolves to return to Vulcan at the conclusion of the mission to study Kholinar. Spock's departure from the Enterprise is a Star Trek mystery. When Star Trek, the motion picture, debuted in 1979, audiences were stunned to learn that Spock had left Starfleet, returning to his home world of Vulcan, where he was studying Kholinar, the Vulcan ritual that purges any remaining emotion. However, Spock's studies are interrupted by V'Ger's arrival. V'Ger's presence touched Spock's human side, causing him to fail Kholinar. Spock returned to Starfleet, where he served for many more years. Trek fans never saw the end of the Enterprise's 5-year mission, leaving Spock's motivations for exiting Starfleet up in the air. It seemed uncharacteristic. Spock had said he felt the most at home in Starfleet, so why leave? In 2020, IDW began publishing Star Trek, Year 5, which aimed to fill in the gaps between the end of the show and the motion picture. Spock's struggle to balance his Vulcan and human sides has been central to his character, and it was this conflict that led him to leave his home in Starfleet behind. In Vulcan's distant past, Spock sees the bloodshed and horror his pre-logic ancestors wreaked upon their planet. Spock understood the philosophy of logic had to take hold on Vulcan, or else they would be destroyed. However, seeing that Surik himself made questionable choices on the path to logic shook Spock to his core. Seeing the various sides of Vulcan's history led Spock to realize he needed to choose a side, and he did. Spock would leave his friends behind and embrace total logic.